can load into this project. And it's not just base cabinets and any sort of shelving units. You also have countertops you can load in as well. I'm going to go to the base cabinets. And I'm not exactly sure which cabinets I'm going to use in this project. So I'm going to take the time and actually just load them all in. And to load in multiple families, you can hold down the Shift key on the keyboard, pick the first one, then pick the last one. That will select all the families inside of that folder. Then you can click on Open to load those families into your project environment. Then after it's been loaded in, if it's asking you to place a family, you can just hit the Escape key to get out of the command. To place furniture inside of a Revit project, first go to the view that you want to place the furniture in, such as the first floor view. Then, underneath the Architecture tab, you'll notice that there aren't any categories called furniture. And the reason is that furniture is actually considered a component family. So if you select on component, you'll then have the opportunity to place a component. From here, underneath properties on the type selector list, you'll see a wide variety of component families that you can place inside of your scene. Usually component families are just any family that does not fit underneath one of the common categories that Revit already has a button for. What I like to do is to go down the list and then find the table and chairs that we can just place here inside of the view. This table dining around with chairs will work just fine. I'm going to select on the 36-inch diameter and then place it over here toward the corner of the room. Now we have the table and chairs there in the corner of the room. I'll also mention, and I just hit the Escape key a couple of times to get out the command, that oftentimes these families have multiple different kinds of configurations associated with them. And this table dining around with chairs is a great example of that. If I come up here to the type selector list and then click on it, we can see that we have a 60-inch diameter and an 84-inch diameter table. If we choose the 60-inch diameter table, notice how we now have a larger table with more chairs. Come back over here again, choose the 84-inch diameter, get another larger table. For this project though, I really do like the 60-inch diameter, so we'll just select on the 60-inch diameter table and chairs, and now that's inside of the space. Just realize that that is actually the exact same family. And it's always important to know that whenever you select on components and then you get the drop-down list, everything that's inside of the same type of family shows up under the same picture and same family title as the family that it's actually in. So if you happen to see a dining room table 1800 by 900, that means that there's only one actual family size that's available there. But for the sofa, there are two separate sizes or two separate configurations of that sofa which are available inside of that Revit family. To place cabinets inside of a scene, we need to spin the wheel of the mouse in order to zoom into the area where the cabinets need to be placed. Next, we need to go to the Architecture tab and then go to Component. We'll place a component here inside of, in this case, the kitchen. Now, underneath Properties, you'll get a list of all the different kinds of families which are considered component families. And that'll also include all the cabinetry that's available. And if we continue the scroll, we'll eventually find all sorts of kitchen cabinetry which will be available for us to place here inside of the kitchen. Once we find our base cabinets, the next thing that we need to decide is which size cabinets do we want to place here in the kitchen area. Well, I want to start off with this base cabinet single door and choose this 24-inch. And I'm going to hit the space bar to rotate this little cabinet around. Then I need to find the wall that this cabinet is going to go against. In this case, I think I'll put a cabinet right about here. Another one right next to it, right in this location. Maybe put two more down here on the other end. I'll probably need to move them so that they line up perfectly with the other cabinets we'll be placing in later on. And come back up here to the type selector list again and see if there's any more kinds of cabinets I want to place. I'll scroll up. In this case, I see a base cabinet with a single door and drawer. I definitely want to have some cabinets that have drawers, so I'll select on maybe the 18-inch. Hit the space bar a couple of times to spin it around. Take a look again, see what other kind of cabinet options that we have. Scroll up a little bit farther. I like the double door sink unit. I mean, obviously, we're going to need to have the sink somewhere in here. So I'll go with the 42-inch. Spin it around just by hitting the space bar again. Here we can see that we have a little bit of overlap here. So what I'll do is I'll click, then hold down the control key, and then select on each one of these cabinets. Use the move command. Click the intersection of this to intersection of here. And now I have cabinets in each one of those locations. To see those cabinets, I could either put a camera inside of this space, I could create an elevation inside of this space, or I could put a section going right through here and then take a look at it using the section. For this project, I think that I'll actually use an elevation. So I'll come up here to View, click on Elevation, move my cursor down until the arrow shows up pointing toward the cabinetry. Then I'll click, hit the Escape key a couple of times to get out of the command. Then I'll select on this arrow, and then I'll either double click on it or right click, and then go to the elevation view to take a look at the cabinets which have been placed. And we can do that for any other cabinets that we want to place here inside of the kitchen area. Right now I'm looking at our cabinetry, and I think it would make more sense if these cabinets were scooted over so that they ended up maybe lining up with this mullion that we're seeing here. So that's what I'll do. Close the view down by just clicking on the little X here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click, hold my mouse button down, and then just window around all those cabinets. Now I'm going to use the move command and then move all those down. In fact, I may even just use the arrow keys on the keyboard to shift from one side to the other side. Right now I'm clicking on the left arrow key or click on the right arrow key just to adjust those so that you have the cabinets there inside of the space. One thing that you will notice though is that if we come back to that elevation view, is that right now all this is cabinetry. In order to place in the countertop, that's actually currently a separate unit that'll need to be placed in by itself. It's very common for your casework to not have countertop associated with it. And part of the reason behind that is that as you're buying your casework, you may decide to have a countertop which is a certain length, which is much longer than the casework, the individual pieces of casework that you would need to install. So the casework will get it installed in first, then the countertop on top of that. To place your countertop, go to the Architecture tab, then select on Component. Then underneath Properties, you'll find that we have a variety of different countertop that we can choose from. I think that I'll choose the countertop with sinkhole. And the reason is that where we'll be placing this countertop, there will be a sink in it. Choose the 24-inch depth, and then zoom in to the kitchen area here on the first floor. I can tell by the little double lines that are up toward the top of this countertop we're getting ready to place in that that's essentially the backsplash, which means that the countertop itself will need to rotate around 180 degrees. To accomplish that, I'll just hit the space bar on the keyboard, do it once, it rotates it once, hit it a second time, and it rotates it 180 degrees around. I'll come over here, and then we need to place this countertop right there. I'll hit the escape key. Next, we need to make adjustments to the countertop so that it happens to be the right length. So I'll grab on to the little double arrows here. In fact, I'll even lock that in the position so that it can't move again. Next, I'll click on the arrows here, try to move this out. Unfortunately, we can see that when I locked onto this, it's trying to lengthen the countertop out, and it's actually bringing the piece of casework out along with it. So I'll need to make an adjustment to that. I'll click on the arrow over here, try to get the sink centered in where it's supposed to be at. Pull this back, maybe lock that into place. Now we can see that there's also dimensions associated with this countertop, and I may need to adjust those just so that I'm not constantly moving these back and forth. It kind of depends on how the countertop family was put together. Click here, pull this back, get the casework all lined up. You can even use the arrow keys on my keyboard if I wish in order to make sure that these really do end up touching each other. Once everything's in place, I'll click off of it. And now let's take a look at this by placing a camera inside of the scene. We come up here to the View tab. What I can do is go to 3D View, say Camera, click once in this area, and then make sure that this cone is looking completely at where we just placed our casework. Then click in order to take a look at our new countertop as well as our casework has been placed. The next thing we'll need to do is come in and place a sink. To place a sink in the countertop in the kitchen area, we first need to zoom in to the countertop. So just spin the wheel of the mouse, holding the cursor over the area where the kitchen sink will be located at. Next, go up to the Architecture tab, then select on Component. Underneath Properties, one of your options here on the Type Selector list should be Kitchen Sink Double, 42-inch by 21-inch. Select on the dimensions and move your sink into place. Right now, though, I want to point out that it says that this is level 1 with an offset of 0. Now, depending on how the sink was actually designed, that could either mean that when we place the sink is going to be sitting on the floor, or it could mean that the bottom of the sink family is down at ground level and that they modeled the sink up high enough that it could easily sit on top of the cabinetry. Unfortunately, at this point, without knowing that sink family very well, there's really no way for us to know whether or not that sink is going to be floating in air, right where it's supposed to be, or sitting on the ground when we place it. So we'll need to review where that sink's placement is after we've placed the sink. Once the sink is sort of in the right spot, hit the space bar once, hit it again. That'll rotate the sink around, then move that sink into position. Once the sink is about where you need it to be, you can click in order to place the sink. Now, if the sink needs to be moved at all, you can always click on it again and then either use the move command or just use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move the sink either up or back so that it's centered there in the countertop appropriately. And the next thing we need to do is take a look at it in an elevation view and make sure that, in fact, we can see a sink. So hit the escape key a couple of times on the keyboard. Either double click on this arrow in order to go directly to the view, or select on the arrow, right click, and then go to elevation. And the good news is that that sink is sitting exactly where it's supposed to be. And it's going into the countertop. We can see the faucet coming up so that we know now that the sink is indeed in the right spot. If the sink had been on the ground, we would have needed to select on the sink and then either use the move command or come underneath properties and then set an offset value, which would have raised the sink up off of the ground and then placed it right where it would have needed to be, there on top of the countertop. While it's very common to have your kitchen cabinets, your countertops, as well as sinks installed individually when you're placing them in Revit, just like you'd install them out in the real world. It's also possible to have them be all part of one assembly. The next thing I'd like to do is to bring in a kitchen island. In that island, we'll have all of our casework. It'll have the countertop on it. It'll even have an opening for the dishwasher to be slid into. Technically, it could even have the dishwasher be a part of it, and everything could be scheduled. But for this project, it'll have everything but the dishwasher, and we'll need to put in the dishwasher separately. To put in that kitchen island, we first need to go to the Architecture tab on the ribbon, then go to Component. Then underneath Properties, we need to scroll up here and then find our 4500 Kitchen Island dishwasher. Click on the 4500 Kitchen Island DW, zoom into our kitchen. And what I'd like to do now is place that island so that it's basically centered on the cabinets that we have over here on the other side. Once it looks like it's in the right place, click. Then hit the escape key a couple of times to get out of the command. The next thing we need to do is place the dishwasher itself. So underneath the Architecture tab, come up here to Component, click once again on the Type Selector list, and now I want to scroll down here on the list and start looking for whatever our dishwasher is named. Now sometimes these Revit families have odd names, so you need to keep a close eye on either A, what you're naming them, or B, what the manufacturer you've downloaded them from has named them. Here we can see that we have microwaves, ranges, as well as a dishwasher. So let's select on this built under dishwasher. There's the dishwasher. I'm not exactly sure where it needs to go, but I know it's somewhere close to this area. So I'm just going to click in order to place it close by. I'll hit the escape key a couple times on the keyboard. I'll zoom in. This area over here, where it looks like there's a bit of a box, that's where the dishwasher needs to go. Now, in order to see it a little bit better, one of the things that I like to do is to come down to the visual styles and then turn on wireframe mode. With wireframe mode on, you can see through everything. Then you can use the move command to click and move that dishwasher into place. Also, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard in order to slide the dishwasher back or forward as required. Once that's in place, I'll click down here again and then turn back on hidden line so we no longer see the dishwasher, but we still see the door for the dishwasher, with that being there in place. Finally, I'd like to take a look at what this entire assembly looks like. So to see it, I'm going to place a camera here inside of the space. Come in here to View, 3D View, Camera. Click once, window around this area. Click. Now we can see, here we have our countertop, we have our dishwasher, as well as our cabinets. And most of it's all built into the same assembly.